Hello everyone, myself Rakesh Kumar Meena, Assistant Professor English, Government College Rajgarh. Today I will teach you a novel Old Man and the Sea written by Ernest Hemingway. In this video lecture, we will discuss on 3 points which are related to this novel, and these are: first one is introduction to the novel, second one is theme of the novel, and the last one is short summary of the novel. Now I'm going to start this video lecture. Our first point is introduction to the novel. Old Man and the Sea is a short heroic novel written by Ernest Hemingway in 1951. It was published in 1952. It was Hemingway's last major work of fiction. The story centers on an old fisherman who engages in an epic battle to catch a giant marlin. The novel was an immediate success and is still famous worldwide. It has been adopted into film 3 times. The Old Man and the Sea won Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1953 and Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. Our next point is theme of the novel. The Old Man and the Sea is a short novel based on 3-day journey of an old fisherman to catch a big fish and his struggle with marlin. It is a heroic novel and it deals with the concepts of aging, self-identification, and commitment and determination. So this was the major theme of this novel, and our last point is short summary of the novel. On the coast of Cuba near Havana, an old fisherman named Santiago lived alone in his small hut. He has been unable to catch fish for last 84 days. His apprentice Manolin has been forced to leave him by his parents to seek another luckier employer. Although Manolin continues to help Santiago to launch and retrieve his boat from the ocean coast each day. Manolin take cares for the aging Santiago by bringing him food and clothing, and in return, Santiago tells Manolin stories about baseball legends and his younger days fishing in a boat of Africa. Every night, Santiago dreams of loins on the beaches of Africa. Early each morning, Santiago walks up the road to Manolin's family's home to wake him up for work. On the morning of 85th day, Manolin helps Santiago to launch his boat into the sea. Santiago rows over the deep wall where he has been trying to catch fish for the past weeks and decides to try his luck further out. Finally, in the early afternoon, he catches a 10 pounds tuna fish which he decides will be his meal for the day. Not long afterward, Santiago feels a hard pull on his line and he realizes that a huge marlin has caught his hook. Because the marlin is so big, however, Santiago cannot pull it in. The marlin pulls Santiago's skiff farther and farther from land. As the sun goes down, Santiago begins to feel a kind of companionship with the marlin. He pities the fish, even loves it, but is still determined to kill it. He decides to cut all his other lines so that nothing will interfere with his great catch. As the sun comes up on Santiago's second day at sea, the marlin suddenly surges, pulling the line and cutting Santiago's hand. As he nurses his hand, the marlin jumps up out of the water, and Santiago can see the fish is bigger than any marlin he has ever seen. He has to hold on to the line with all his might so that the marlin does not break free from the boat. He prays that he will be able to kill the marlin. As it grows dark on Santiago's second day at sea, he lets out a small line and catches dolphin fish to eat. He rests for a few hours but is woken by the marlin jumping frantically. Santiago continues holding the line, although it has been cutting into his hand for some time. The marlin tries and begins circling the boat as Santiago grows weaker from lack of sleep and exhaustion. Finally, Santiago uses all his strength to harpoon and kill the marlin. Santiago ties the marlin to the side of his boat and begins sailing back toward Cuba coast. During the homeward journey, however, his third day at the sea, sharks attack the boat, tearing the flesh from the marlin. Santiago fights desperately, killing or driving off most of the sharks, but eventually the sharks eat all the flesh of the marlin. When Santiago pulls into harbor, everyone is sleeping, and Santiago struggles to carry his mast back to his shack, leaving the marlin's skeleton still tied to his boat in the harbor. The next day, Manolin finds Santiago asleep in his shack. Manolin is overjoyed to see him but cries when he sees the cuts in Santiago's hand. He brings Santiago coffee, passing the crowd of fishermen who are marveling at the marlin's giant skeleton. When Santiago wakes up, Manolin tells him that he doesn't care what his parents say. So he is going to start fishing with Santiago again. Meanwhile, as a party of tourists watches the Merlin's skeleton and mistakes it for a shark, Santiago drifts back to sleep under Manolin's watchful gaze and dreams of loins. Here, the story of this novel comes to an end. So, it was a story of an old man who struggles to catch a giant marlin fish. With this, it is the end of this video lecture. Thank you.